Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook. Well, I'm so used to saying Facebook, but this is just a recording. It may go on Facebook, it may not, may go on YouTube. Again, I made this once before, and it's just some copies of some of my sketches. No big deal. They may not ever come to fruition. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But all rights are reserved, and this is Samaya Hodges, okay? Right now, I am in Stafford, Texas, and staying with my daughter, Lamaya. I'm staying with my daughter, Amaya. That's why you have to give kids nicknames when their names are so close together. I have a Amaya and a Lamaya. Amaya Coco, Lamaya Tinkerbell. But I'm staying with Coco with an A, Amaya. And I wanted to show you some of these here sketches. And again, I have some of these already uploaded, but I'm going to go ahead and I think I have 8 or 9 of them. I'm going to show you all of them again. I talked about that one once before. One side I drew it so it could be an evening gown. Or on the other side, it could be a long train on it to be very formal or wedding dress. This here again, I call this the disco or the future new 70s. And it's just a pair of bell-bottom pants with each leg has its own train. This one just reminds me of the Jetsons. Remember the cartoon, the Jetsons? They were already in the future. Back in the 80s, they were already into the future. And so this dress here just remind me of the Jetsons. And it's not really a dress, it's a two-piece. A skirt and the blouse. A skirt and the top blouse, kind of short crop blouse. This one here, I call this the church lady. Only because it's just very simple, elegant kind of dress. I was really impressed with drawing her hair for the first time. I'm not really good at drawing hair, but I'm getting better, and I was really kind of impressed with her hair, even though it's just a simple ponytail. I call this the church lady dress with the pockets on it. This one here is just more so just sketching, no particular reason for anything. I did put the flag on the back of that just so that it can also be looked upon as something for a theatrical something or Miss Universe something or whatever. Just let your imagination run wild. But that is part of the dress. And this one here again is, I titled this one The Black Flintstones, all rights are reserved. And this is just like a little jumpsuit with the Flintstone look in the top, some shorter pants. I use the triangles as to say, as with, like government, the triangles for the bottom part of the pantsuit. And then I tried to create, I'm not a real artist, so I don't really know how to draw all that well, but I did try to draw her some like boot like sandals with the same, as you see at the bottom, has the same look as the top of the jumpsuit. At least that was my intentions is what I'm trying to appear. Boot sandals. This here, I just kind of was trying to come up with just a swimsuit, a regular swimsuit, but I call that the Eagle Royal swimsuit. I don't know, I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a fashion designer. I just sketched this, and this is for that fashion designer imagination to run wild, just to give them something to go off of. I did put like, they can be feathers or fringes or whatever on the side of that swimsuit. Most times it's for girls who just like to sit around, who not necessarily trying to swim, but just want to show off, and or a stage play or something. As you see, there's stripes on the legs. Those stripes on the legs could be fishnet stockings or whatever else you would like for them to be. And that was intentional, the little wrapper around something, and that looks almost like a hula hoop. Again, just lines to help the artist come up with other creative ways. All of that can be erased and go to some simple, or somebody else may take those lines and do something creative. It's just for the extra added creativity, movement for that clothes designer, okay, that fashion designer, just to give them, let's see if you can trigger off something in their imagination with these here lines. See what would they come up with. And so it's just a basic something. Again, it's more like an upside down pyramid. It's more like a Tarzan and Jane look. It's just something to give a fashion designer. If you had a room of 100 fashion designers and give them this picture and tell them all to come up with something different, I'm sure all these lines give that person or those persons a different outlook on this here particular outfit. All of them, I'm sure, will come up with something different. So basically, I'm just trying to help, instead of borrowing the mind of one person, let's kind of use your own mind. God gave us all a gift, and you have your own brain, your own creativity. You don't need to borrow the mind of another individual. All that's doing is stunting your growth. You need to use your own brain, your own creativity. And so with this here project, and I would like to see it come to a fruition one day, is see how many people, if I can give them this same picture, to see how 100 people is the exact same picture, put it on a screen or something, and I'm curious to see what would everybody else come up with. Just use this picture and give me a beautiful swimsuit, and you have to use this your concept. And I would be curious to see all of the great minds and what they would come up with. I'm sure there's going to be something great that they're going to surprise themselves. So don't just go mimicking something that I do. Take something that I do and tweak it, or use your own imagination. It's just an exercise, just to use your own imagination. You guys are so much greater than I am. You don't need to be borrowing my intellect or my thoughts or intentions. You are so much greater than that. Why would you do that? But nevertheless, we call this here the Turning Eagle Royal Swimsuit. Let's go shopping, ladies. This is the Let's Go Shopping, the S collection. S is for Samaya. S, because she's a real sassy kind of young lady here. You see on the print of the fabric, that print is just a whole bunch of S's connected. The S collection. I like a little bit of the old mixed with the new. So I like these little muffs. Again, I like to bring the old back with the new, and we can take these muffs and make them into purses. Nowadays, y'all are so creative. You guys are doing the most. You can take these and make them to purses. One of the reasons I like to have the muffs, sometimes women, you find yourself when you're in a situation where you kind of feeling a little awkwardly nervous, like maybe it's a little giddy because you got a crush on somebody that's in your presence, and your hands are getting a little fidgety or something. Maybe you can keep them in there and nobody knows, nobody know that it's something. You can kind of wiggle your fingers to kind of help you with that little extra happy anxiety kind of like thing. And or when you just walk in the malls or shopping, sometimes you don't really necessarily know what to do with your hands. You just let them swing from side to side as what a model would do, or you can rest them. So I like the muffs here. I really do. It gives you, they can be for summertime, or they can be a fancy fur for the winter time, or it can be something a little water resistant, non-porous for other seasons, such as a rainy or a snow season. And so anyways, this is also a very nice look for a church lady as well. But I call it Let's Go Shopping because I wanted it to be a little bit more sassy and a little bit more classy. And I wanted the women to say, wow, if you go shopping looking like this, how are we going to look when we go to the club or go out on or another kind of function? So this is kind of like, it can also be viewed as something very high class, high society too. This is what, because most of us, and I do it too sometimes, we just slip on maybe some a nice little walking outfit or a nice pair of jeans or something, and we go shopping. But if you turn it up a notch and say, come on ladies, let's go shopping, and we wear our Sunday best to go shopping, that's kind of like a real high society dress. And so that's why I use the phrase, let's go shopping the S collection. But this can be toned all the way down to something very simple to something very, very high class. It just depends on the individual, your mindset, and your values, what you value the most, what you, your values, and how you see yourself. This here I call the bird's nest, and it's just a hat. I'm actually really was working on the creative side of myself, of sketching and drawing, and see how well I can sketch. And so I'm sketching things that are really easy for me, and things that are just not so complex. And so I am sketching that. So in this here particular picture, you see a young lady. Her hair, particularly me being a hairstylist, I like to point out her hair and how well I think this sketch looks, each strand does look individual around her hairline. So I'm really pleased with that look right there. And so these are her eyelashes. She has a closed eye. These are just some earrings. This is supposed to be a veil, believe it or not, but maybe I need to work on it, but it's okay. But that's a veil. And here's her hair is in a bun. It's like if we combed it all up and put in a braid and then took the braids and wrap it around that bun. So this here is some type of a bun. I initially started this one with just that portion of the hat, just that portion. So that'd be cool too. If you just want to do something really simple and basic, just that portion of the hat would have been just perfectly fine. Later I came back and added a little funk to it and gave it a whole new different look for that lady that likes maybe a bigger hat, or sometimes you have women that are a little shorter, they like a taller hat for whatever reason, or maybe you just have that person who just like to stand out in the crowd. You want everybody at church to really notice you and notice your hair, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you probably just been there all your life, just make a fashion statement wherever you go. Then this here would be perfect for you. If you, that lady who's known, who has a reputation for standing out in front of a crowd, then this hat would be perfect for you. This one's another one. Again, this last few pictures this is just that cosmetology coming out of me, the hairstylist, the cosmetologist coming out of me. As you can see, her hair is just simple, amazing. I didn't draw eyes intentionally because I wanted her hair to kind of like fall in her face on both sides, to kind of hug her face. In St. Louis, there was a lady that invented what you call the wrap. And the wrap is a wet set, and all you do is put one roll in the top, and you take the rest of the hair and you smooth it around really, really tight and nice and neat, and you let her sit under the dryer for a couple of hours or so. When you comb it out, this is exactly what you're going to get, the wrap. And so I like that hairstyle. I did try to give her lips some texture. Put a little red, just a hue of a red color to them, just to try to give it a little texture. So I put a hue of color there, and then I took just a little bit of that color and put it on the feathers, and we'll get to that later. But I called this one here Electronic Eyes. The reason why I call it Electronic Eyes is because she has no eyes, so she's just there with her head closed. Maybe I could have said too, a mind eye. A mind eye, meaning her visuals are kind of like a dream stage. It's just, you know how you close your eyes and whatever it is that you visualize or within your own mind. So these are, I call them electronic eyes. And then this is the hat that I created, and this is supposed to be just big, kind of like a floppy hat. As you can see in the top, I gave it a little bit of texture here, the lightest part. And all of this is done with just a pencil. So I gave it a little texture there. And then I wanted to darken the hat just so you can see the fullness of the round part of the hat, the crown part of the hat. And so I kind of accentuated the outside, the outline of the hat, so that you can see the outline of the hat. Here I put a feather up in the top just to give it a little pizzazz, just kind of spice it up a little bit. So I did that feather, and it took me a long time to do that feather. Again, this is just pencil work for a beginner. This is pencil work for a beginner. All rights are reserved on everything. So this is just one of my creations, and since I have it in this booklet, and I don't want to, if I should ever lose this book or for whatever reason, I just want to make this a video so that I can still have these drawings. This one is Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Believe it or not, that is a purse, but it's supposed to be a hotel purse. It's a hotel shaped as a purse, if you can see it. So another thing here, I know it may not look like that, but let me explain to you. 1, 2, 3, these are blocks leading up to that hotel. So this is block 1, 2, and 3. So this could be a mile long, and it's leading up to this hotel. So these are supposed to be gold bricks. And then this is when you cross the streets at the end of the block. You cross the street and you get to another block. So these are gold bricks on that block, and then it's going up, but it's going to radiate up through the size of that purse. So from afar, you'll see the sidewalks are going to look like this, and then it's going to give you the illusion of the sidewalk going up into the hotel, maybe up around the strap of the purse and back down. It's going to give you that illusion that the gold bricks are going up, and this will be gold bricks. But when you see it from afar, it's going to almost look like that road is leading all the way up to the top of that hotel. And what you see on the back end is the exact same thing in the front. So these are your roads right here. And that's the back end. So that is Miss Samaya's hotel. From what I visualize and what I see this hotel being, you won't be able to see. You see these little individual rooms right here, these little individual lines of room. You won't be able to see that as much. All I want you to see is just a plain, simple purse, hotel purse, maybe 50, 60, 100 floors, however many. All I really want you to see is just that signature going up. That's it. Just Miss Samaya, keep it simple, keep it elegant. But that is a hotel. Now, we come back to this. Let's see if I could turn this around. Maybe I could turn the camera around. Maybe I should just leave it as it. Let's see. This here spells Samaya also. Let's see if I can do it this way. Sumayah spells Samaya. And I'm going to turn this around so that I can focus. That's a hotel, you guys. Believe it or not, this is another hotel. One day I do plan on having my own society, and society is more than just a word, more than just something like a Illuminati's or something like that. A society to me means that also means a country, and your country can be the size of Rhode Island, which is the smallest state, or it could be even smaller or something big, but it's still considered a country. Even if I use 10 city blocks radius per square radius, that means 10 blocks north, south, east, and west. Even if I use 10 blocks per something, that is still considered, because it's mine, it's my own territory, and because I'm governing my own territory, it could still be considered a country. And so I do plan on having my own city/country society. And so this is the design of the look that one of the most expensive hotels that would be in the world, in which I should have in my society, and it would be the largest hotel in the world. I took my name and created 7. These are individual hotels. So see the line, that's 1 hotel, that's 2 hotels, that's 3. So when you book your reservations, you will be booking a room in Hotel Y, or Hotel M, or Hotel S. Each one of these hotels will have a different theme, so that it would make it easy for you to choose which hotel you would like to stay in. And although they are different hotels, it's just one solid building. Different hotels, one solid structure. As you can see, this is a brick right here. Hopefully some gold bricks on that side. These little specks I used, I took the theme from the galaxy or the cosmos. And these could be stars, planets, or whatever. Or they can be diamond chips in the concrete. And so we will have like the little Swarovski or diamond chips in the concrete. The bricks will be gold again, as in real gold. As you can see, that's what makes it's going to make it one of the most expensive ones in the world. That is black on the top. The whole hotel is outlined with a black pencil, and I think I'm going to keep that black. Right beneath the black, you see it's a burgundy color, even though it doesn't come across as burgundy right now. I'm trying to get some lighting. I'm sitting in a truck. Okay, so this is burgundy. Right beneath that line is burgundy and gold. So that's the way I kind of envision it. Black, maybe the rooftop or something would go with the burgundy, and maybe some more gold trimming or something. And we'll figure all that out later. These here yellow lines that you see here, I like to have kind of like if you had like a flashlight sitting on the top of here and it radiates light out like that. Then that's kind of what you see. So that would be illuminating kind of a light, especially at night. You'd be able to see, and you'd be able to see. I have 6. Well, there is one right here, 7. So you'll be able to see the 7. You can follow those 7 lights in the sky. You would know that you get close to Samaya's hotel. So that's lighting. One other thing, these letters will be there, and they will be lit up as well. But not only are they lit up on the front and the back side of the hotel, I always said that I was going to marry the man who could write my name in the sky. The next wedding I have, he's going to be able to write my name in the sky. Well, sometime afterwards, I kind of rethought that a little bit. I said, you know what? I'm going to put my own name in the sky. So on the top of each one of these here buildings is also a letter that's going to be lit up. So when you're flying in your helicopter or your airplane, or if you're looking at it from satellite, it'll look like my name is in the sky. And so again, all rights are reserved, and this is the reason why I chose this particular look, this particular hotel. The smallest hotel will have anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 rooms. And then the next one could have maybe 5 to 7, and the next one could have 7 to 10, and this may have 10 to 14, then come back down to your 7 to 10, your 3 to 5, or whatever. And so all rights are reserved. Again, this is the look here. A lot can change and probably will change as we go on. And after I talk to the architect, and after I have been awarded the relief funds fees for one of the worst crimes in the world that has been inflicted upon me and my baby. So once America decides that they owe me, the judges already decide, but once they decide to pay me, then this is some of the things that I plan on doing with my money for the damages that were sustained, the permanent damages that were sustained in property law. It has nothing to do with my child, just the properties, just the damage and the injuries that was, permanent damages and injuries that was sustained to myself, Samaya Hodges. This is what I plan on doing with it, even if I have to do it alone. And so here, I'm not an artist. This may look like a cartoon somewhere, something a kid did, but nevertheless, I like the old mixed with the new. So I tried to take some of the old style cars that I have been collecting and seeing. Sort of like one of my favorite old time cars would be that 1935 Studebaker. I love that one. But anyways, I just like some of those cars that you see on My Fair Lady movie, and just some of the other cars. I like some of those old ones, but I do like it with a modern spin on it too. That's how you come up with inventions and more innovative. You don't need science to help you come up, be creative and innovative ways. You don't need science. Everything in every fashion and every model, it tends to always repeat itself every 10 years. Anyways, there's nothing new under the sun. Absolutely nothing is new under the sun. All it is another creative mind, another human being with a creative mind who said, you know what, I like that 1995 Studebaker. Why don't I just bring that back, bring that particular model back? But let's go ahead and put some of this. Let me look at all the other models that came after that one. Let me put a new spin on it, give it a modern day twist. Let's use that body or part of that body and give it a modern day twist, and let's see what we come up with. That's how you come up with ideas. There's nothing new under the sun. As with hairstyles, they tend to roll around every 10 years or so, maybe for sure every 15 years. One phase 10 years ago or 15 years ago, they may have been real heavy into finger waves. And now they brought finger waves back, and all they doing is now putting a modern day twist on, and they have now added finger waves with other styles, like, added with some curls or whatever. But now they got commercial wefted hair. People are learning how to finger wave commercial wefted hair versus their own natural hair, stuff like that. So there's nothing new under the sun. People just put a new spin on things. And so you don't need one person's thought or mind to come up with innovative ways, as I heard one say with the Brain Initiative. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. What you need is your own mind, because we are so creative and we are so unique that to use the mind of someone else is just really making you dummy down. What am I brain? Like, what is your brain here for? What are you supposed to do? You just here to use somebody's brain? Like, what are you supposed to do? See, that's kind of like an insult to me. One of the reasons why I like being in competition. Cosmetology, first of all, part of our curriculums talks about competition. That's just part of our profession, cosmetology. That's one area in which you can branch off into. So they teach you that in school, competition. That's one of the areas in which you can branch off to, competitive. So there shouldn't be no bitter hairdresser or school owner when it comes to competition, or there shouldn't be no competition clause where you could try to take the other person down and politically down for competition. That's so messed up, because that's a part of our curriculum. That's an area in which we can pursue. There's a lot of cosmetologists. Look at Vidal Sassoon wouldn't be here if it wasn't there. Aveda wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their competitive views and outlook and skills that they had. So, matter of fact, that can apply to any business, but they wouldn't be here if they didn't put themselves out there like that. And so that's just part of the entire curriculum. But anyways, that's another story for another day. Let's go back to this here car here. All I did was give it a different body look. In the inside, it may not make sense to you, but these doors are going to open up both ways. One open to the right, one open to the left. And these are just these two seats here. These people, kind of like if you had two sofas facing each other and a table in the middle. That's what it is. And in the back, same thing. Two sofas facing each other with the tables in the middle. And they're going to kind of open out like that. It's not called it a taxi, but I want a really high-end taxi. One of the things that I really want to capture on this particular photo is just the 3 points. I had 2 children. So the tallest one would be me and my 2 children. 3 was on this vehicle best suit me because of myself and the 2 children I gave natural birth to. And then my name is Samaya. I did the S on the rims, and then I still came out with the 1, 2, 2, 3 points here and 3 there, as you can see here. And that's why I have the 3 lines there. I gave birth twice to 2 children and then myself here. And so that is to be a new taxi for me. moving right along to this picture here, I called her Mary Poppins only because she looked like something from a television movie, a PG something, funny, but yet beautiful. Mary Poppins fashion. Again, I gave her that same bun, same earrings, lipstick, eyes, whatever. And here, this is a hat, and it's supposed to fall down, kind of like over her eyes a little bit. So it's kind of like a little floppy hat falls down in her face. That's the top part of the hat. I did come back with more feathers, and whatever these things are, I don't know, but this is just, again, for the designer to use that, and I'm gonna eventually have him to come up with something very creative using this idea here. And maybe 10 people, if I want 10 hats in this particular series, what I would do is I would give it to 10 different fashion designs and tell them to create me a hat. And I guarantee you each one of those 10 people are going to come up with a different hat, which would be good because that's exactly what I would be looking for. And so I call that the Mary Poppins. Again, people, I wanted to just show you just some of my sketching, my artwork here. That is the Mary Poppins hat there. This here, we call it the S Collection Exclusive. And that is an old series, old mobile taxi, mixed with the new modern day twist. Again, this would be the largest hotel in the world and the most expensive hotel in the world. One of the reasons because it's 7 hotels combined, so it is one hotel, but 7 total. Let's say it this way, it's one structure, but there are 7 individual hotels here. And so we have that one, and then we have this one hotel, Follow Your Yellow Brick Road. Both of those would be in my city or / country. Okay, so that is just going to be the most expensive of all hotels. Even the 7 one, this may be the most expensive one, even out of the previous one we just saw here. Okay, so that is Miss Samaya's hotel. And again, this is that beautiful hairstyle, that wrap hairstyle with this floppy hat. And we call it the electronic eyes because she cannot see. Her eyes are closed. She cannot see. She's looking through her mind eye on it because that's just the artist's imagination. So again, all rights are reserved. This here is the bird's nest hat. I did that because I added that additional piece to it. So I call it the bird's nest hat. I have the little veil, as you can see here, her bond, her hair. That is the bird's nest. And it's also the S collection. This here, Let's Go Shopping, ladies. That's the S collection with the muff. I tried to draw some shoes here. Again, I'm not that great, but they'll come out. I think the artists are really make them pop for me. And that's the S collection. Shoes with the muff, the suit with the muff, and this is your Royal Eagle swimsuit, the Turning, Turning, and that's why it looks like it has like the little hula hoop there. It's called the Turning Royal swimsuit. This here is the Black Flintstones, all rights are reserved. A new hippie kind of something. Guys, use your own imagination. I like the fringes on her hips. It kind of insinuate her hips. They didn't start off being fringes. It's just something it's kind of hard to do, but I said, you know what, this looks good. Just leave it there. So they can be fringes or not fringes, but the Black Flintstones. And then here we have this theatrical piece, and this don't have to necessarily be an American flag if my designer is out of the country, and then we can use any color flag or any background. It don't even necessarily have to be a flag, but it's just kind of more theatrical kind of look here. Stage presentation, theatrical look. And that's the church lady dress. That's my envision of what I think of. I mean, I have billions of look of what a church lady should look like, but because this here is not showing any cleavage and it's not really hugging or fitting her tight, I thought it would be very appropriate for a church. And this here, the Jetsons. I was just playing with something and just, you know what? I'm gonna keep that just as is. So that's the top. I don't know what it's doing across the top, but it's cute. It's just big, it's bold. It can be shoulder pads, it can be whatever. But it is a skirt and a blouse. The Jetsons. And again, this is really, really funky. Again, they are just some big oversized bell-bottom pants. They can be feathers, they can be chiffon, they can be whatever, but each one has its own like little train that's pulling, kind of like a back of a wedding dress or something. Each one has its own. I don't know if that's practical. I don't even know how it's work. I'm just an artist. I'm just creating, okay? And so I call this one here disco, or the future new 70s. Again, this is really beautiful, classy, very sexy, seductive, yet not so provocative. And then you have on that side just a nice little evening gown. This side can be more wedding or formal. And so it's a fashion designer. Use your imagination, let it run wild. All rights are reserved. I said these are for sale. Open bid at $1 million. All rights are reserved. As with this one here, big huge shoulder pads with the cape on there. And then so that is more, looks kind of like a wedding dress with a front tail on it. As you see, it's like a front tail with a wedding dress, a big kind of like poof something. And again, that poofiness, that wedding dress, the yellow part there, that can come from the cape or the dress, or it can be kind of like one of those wraparounds that you could put on a regular dress, like a skirt, almost a snap-on skirt, and then you could take it off and then it just goes into that blue thing. Or it can be made onto the dress and or made onto the cape, and or all three can be individual pieces. And so there you have it. This is the Miss Myers collection. It's called the Double Train 2065 Future Dress, Wedding Dress. The Double Train Wedding Dress 2065. Okay, so there you have it, Miss Myers into the future. Although she loves some of the old school, or you know, this we call it old school, or back in the days, vintage, whatever it is. She loved some of the past mixed in with the future. You guys did an awesome job on the past. You don't need a brain initiative. You don't need all of that. You don't need to be in one's head. Go back and revisit the past. Don't stay back there. Just take a glance and then take a huge leap or two forward into the future. So go back and revisit that you're into. If you're into cars, if you're into fashion, if you're into architect, whatever it is, go back and peek at the past. A very quick peek at the past, and then go take leaps and bounds into the future with that you have peeked at from the past, if that makes sense to you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope this helps somebody. I hope you go ahead and follow the instructions in which I have given you. If you do that, then you can very well be well on your way as a new inventor, as a new designer. If you take that idea and press forward, there's no reason why you can't be that next Fendi, or that next Prada, or Rolls Royce. There's nowhere in the world why you shouldn't be that next leading brand. So peek at the past and take leaps and bounds into the future. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to post this on YouTube.